2024 has been a rough year at the cinema so far. Blockbusters have bombed, critics have cringed, and audiences, well, they've been less than thrilled. It's time to dive into the year's biggest movie flops, what went wrong, and why no one's talking about them. Movie number 1, Argylle. Okay, so Argylle, let's just say it hasn't exactly set the world on fire. Critics are straight up trashing it. That Rotten Tomatoes score is oof. Basically, they're saying it's got the energy of a spy movie, but the plot is a tangled mess and it drags on way too long. It's not even like the star power saves it. Even Roger Ebert's site is unimpressed. The cast is trying, bless their hearts. Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell are talking about channeling their inner spies, and Henry Cavill apparently has a newfound respect for tap dancers after whatever happened in this movie. The director, Matthew Vaughn, seems super hyped about it, but the fans? They're not buying it. The internet is basically a big collective sigh of disappointment. We expected so much more, seems to be the general vibe. Movie number 2, Lisa Frankenstein. Look, we love a good, campy horror comedy. Lisa Frankenstein sounded like it could be a blast. A throwback to the 80s, neon colors, a little bit of Heathers mixed with a classic monster twist. Sadly, it ends up feeling more like a bad 80s music video than a proper film. The visuals are all over the place. It's trying so hard to be quirky, but the costumes are goofy, the set's overly bright. It's visually jarring and not fun. And the script, it just doesn't have the wit to pull off the kind of dark humor it's going for. Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse are clearly having fun, but their energy just highlights the flaws even more. They're game, but the material isn't giving them anything to work with. This could have been a cult classic, but it ends up feeling like a rejected CW pilot episode. Movie number 3, Miller's Girl. Jenna Ortega is on fire right now, and we were excited to see her take on a more complex role. Sadly, Miller's Girl squanders her talent with a deeply uncomfortable, exploitative story. The film tries to sell itself as a dark psychological thriller, but it quickly becomes clear it's more about shock value than a nuanced look at power and manipulation. The relationship between the student and teacher is presented in a way that feels exploitative, not thrilling or thought-provoking. Martin Freeman is a talented actor, but he's not given much to work with here. His character is poorly written, and his motivations are messed up. It's hard to invest in this story when the premise itself is so fundamentally flawed. This film could have explored the complexities of power and obsession, but instead, it settles for cheap thrills and an unsettling aftertaste. Movie number 4, Float. Look, we all enjoy a comforting romantic flick sometimes, but Float reminds us that the genre, when done poorly, becomes incredibly dull. It's got those dreamy sunset beach shots, a handsome lifeguard, and an eager new-in-town girl, and yet there's just nothing there. Gorgeous scenery can only carry you so far. The characters feel like cardboard cutouts. Their dialogues are stiff and lifeless. There's no conflict, no obstacles, nothing that really makes us care whether these two end up together or not. Sure, not every romance needs to be earth-shattering, but there's gotta be something more than pretty faces and a nice location. The movie forgets that even the simplest love stories need a spark, a touch of real human emotion to make us root for the couple. This one just leaves us feeling underwhelmed. Movie number 5. The underdog sports movies are a classic for a reason. They uplift, they inspire, and they give us the ultimate underdog stories. The underdogs tries to play that game, but fumbles the ball before even reaching the starting line. We've seen this all before. The down-on-his-luck coach forced back into the game? Check. The ragtag team of misfits who learn to play together? Check. The overly dramatic final match to win it all? You bet. The underdogs doesn't just copy, it copies badly. Snoop Dogg can be a lot of fun, but he can't perform Miracles. He's stuck with a script that's so stale, it's like reading a box of decade-old motivational posters. The film plays it safe every step of the way, and the result is a sports flick that lacks any punch. This one needed some originality and some risks. Instead, it's so generic it instantly fades from memory. When we want a heartwarming sports classic, we'll stick with The Mighty Ducks, Rudy, or even Cool Runnings, movies that had an actual heart. Movie number 6. Night Swim. Horror fans are a forgiving bunch. We'll put up with some cheesy effects or predictable plots if the scares are there. But Night Swim manages to take a promising premise, a spooky creature in a pool, and drown it in dull execution. Those jump scares, Allegra feed from a mile away. The atmosphere, non-existent. It's more concerned with teens partying than building actual tension. Sir, there's a creature lurking, but when it's finally revealed, it's laughable, not terrifying. It's a shame, because Carrie Condon and Wyatt Russell are capable actors, but they're stuck with dialogue that's silly, not suspenseful. The characters make bafflingly stupid choices, and it's hard to be scared when you're too busy rolling your eyes. This movie was a chance for Blumhouse to show off their horror skills. Instead, it's a reminder that even a solid idea can flounder without good writing and execution. Movie number 7, Madame Web. Last and definitely least, Madame Web. It isn't just a bad movie. It's an absolute train wreck, the kind that's so awful you can't help but watch in a fascinating sort of horror. The script, where to even begin? It feels like it was written by an algorithm that was fed every superhero cliché imaginable and then spit out something barely resembling a story. The characters are thin as paper, their motivations are nonsensical, and the dialogue, cringe. And the less said about the special effects, the better. They look like they were salvaged from a 90s video game. But at least they're trying to connect this mess to Spider-Man, right? Desperation doesn't even begin to cover it. The movie isn't just a flop. It's a hilarious mess destined to become a cult classic of bad cinema. Get ready for those meme-filled YouTube breakdowns and midnight screenings where the audience laughs louder than they scream. Sony, you've truly outdone yourselves with this one. So, there you have it. Let me know what you thought were the year's worst movies in the comments below, and if I missed any other movie that you hated. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of my future videos.